Hey, and welcome to the Hopcast.
Thanks for coming back, everybody.
I'm Brad Chmielewski,
My name is Ken Hunnemeder.
and we're at Panic Brewing.
Panic Brewing with Mr. Gary Gulley.
Hello.
Thanks for having us here, buddy. It's been a while since we've seen you.
Yeah, and I've been wanting you guys out here for a long time. So,
I know.
but
Has a lot changed since?
yeah, well, as you can see, the brew house is well, no, nothing's changed. So, no, nothing at all.
Just brought us here to do horrible things.
He hasn't even showed us the basement yet. So
Oh yeah, that's a place. So, yeah, this is the space. I got almost 11,000 square feet plus the creepy basement, and right now we're waiting to get the construction started. So.
Yeah, so we're up here in the Saginaw neighborhood of Chicago, so almost Wisconsin.
Maeve mentioned it was so you could be as close to New Glarus as possible.
Oh, there you go. That's not a bad. That's not a bad thing. So.
So how long has this project been going on? I know you've been working on it for a while.
Well, I mean, originally probably 2010 is when the spark first started, and then it took a while to get to the point where I actually had the courage to actually do it, because it's kind of a scary thing. I'm not much of an entrepreneur. No one in my family is an entrepreneur ever, so this is a whole new thing. So then it took a while to get to the point. Once I got started, it just kept going. So I tend to go slower than, there's a lot of people opening breweries that weren't even started, weren't even thinking about it when I started my actual process. But I have a weird process. I iterate and I think and I try to plan, and so it's just the way I do everything. It drives my wife crazy sometimes, but that's just how I have to approach it. So everything's taken twice as long as what I thought. I mean, I've got these Panic shirts that say 2013 on the back. Well, I missed that date. So
I was just gonna say you're like the first brewery that we've had on that's like, yeah, we're gonna be ready by this date, and we're super confident about it. And we just watched that date.
I just
don't even worry about it.
Douglas Adams said, I love deadlines. I love the whooshing sound they make when they go by. So, but we've got architects busy, engineers, so everything, the drawings are almost complete. Actually, they are complete. Doing a few final tweaks. Next week we should be applying for our building permits, and then letting the gods of Chicago take care of that. If there's any Chicago building people out there,
they're huge
please help me out and get this thing approved, will you? So that's where we are. But in the process, it's been since 2010. It's been a lot of research. I went to brewing school, American Brewers Guild. And shout out, yes, a fraction of the price of Siebel, I might add. Oddly enough, this used to be Siebel Institute. The building right here next to it was Siebel from the 1950s till they moved over by Goose Island, Clybourne. And then this particular building apparently was one of the members of the Siebel family used this for another business. He was making something for beer. I don't know what it was, but yeah, so there's a little bit of history. Yeah. If you actually, the electrical box over there actually has a Siebel Institute sticker on it, so I guess somebody thought they'd put that. So it's kind of weird that I'm here. So it's got a little bit of history. The ceilings are 16 feet, which is great. It's hard to find ceilings that have more than 12 feet, it seems, in Chicago.
And they're pretty. They got a nice wood.
Yeah, they're nice. I can't wait to put lots of holes in them. So you need lots of clearance for the fermenters, and but yeah, it's been a long journey. I have a lot less hair than I did, and it's a lot grayer. Yeah. And I wish I'd put my phone on quiet there. And I decided to open a brewery after I was married with 2 children and a mortgage. So
good idea.
Yeah, it was a really smart idea. Quit my well-paying IT job. So this is where we are. So it's been a very long journey. I've been very patient, which I'm surprised because I'm usually not a patient person, but we're very close, and I'm just letting things flow now. I got lots of stuff to take care of from now until the time we brew, so things are moving.
So you've got the equipment all ordered up, kind of That's in the process right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
What size?
So we're gonna have a 20-barrel brew house, and the manufacturer's a company called Marks. They're based out of Vancouver, Washington, and the founder Ryan Marks worked for JV Northwest for years. It's a well-known brewery equipment manufacturer, stainless steel tanks. So it's gonna be there in front of this window, and everything's American made. 40-barrel fermenters. I have 3 of those. I probably should have had another one, but I don't. Bright tank, hot liquor tank. Yeah, I got lawyers to pay for, and all that other stuff. So, yeah, so that's what we got. It's
Your beer is excellent.
Yeah,
This
it's already
oh,
in-
thank you. Well, yeah, and this is
Package
my Lagunitas IPA. So
Those
yeah, I don't
lawyers-
actually
those
have
lawyers are going to get expensive.
I don't know if I should have named it Lagunitas IPA. Yeah, so yeah, my beer. I don't have actually beer ready. I got some fermenting right now, so yeah. Sorry guys, I didn't.
So what are your plans? What kind of beer, or what are we going to see from you?
What's your focus?
Well, I'm not going to do anything too unusual. I'm a big fan of session beers. I mean, I like everything. I mean, I've blogged about this a million times. I love everything. There's not a style of beer that I don't like. You know, some days I'm in the mood for a double IPA. Some days I am not. So I'm doing mainly session beers to start off, and anything 5% or less alcohol. I don't really look at the alcohol level so much, but I basically want beers that you can have more than one of, and not feel like you're about to fall out of your seat.
Okay.
And those are to start with. So I got some flagships I'm working on. The main one is just a pale ale, but it's what I think is one that I haven't had. A lot of late hopping in it. I'm still working on the hop varieties. The hop market's really fun right now, so that's one of the things on my plate I'm dealing with. So, and then I'm going to do an English pale ale, and that is going to be what I hope is an authentic English pale ale. I'm not going to use any American hops. There's not going to be any. You know, it seems like a lot of American breweries just can't resist throwing in some Cascade or something, which is fine. You know, it's your brewery, do what you want, and that's the great thing about this industry. But I really like English pale ales. I don't think they have enough representation in the market, so I'm going to do that. And then I've got an oatmeal stout that I think I'm going to wait and have that come out later in the fall. I think all these will use the English ale yeast I'm going to be using. And then that's sort of the pyramid. That's the base of the pyramid. And then as we go down the road, you know, I'm a huge fan of, I hate to say sour beers, but more like beers with Brettanomyces. So
Okay.
I definitely want to do some Brett beers, some barrel aging with Brett, and you know, start coming up with some more exotic beers. So there's a lot of work. I've done a little bit of brewing with those. There's a lot more people who know way more about than I do. So I'm looking at you, John Laffler, for some help here. So that's down the road. And you know, we'll go from there. I love IPAs. There's so many of them on the market. I'll probably avoid that for a while. I may do some special ones. I love double IPAs if they're well made. So I just had Great Lakes. Is it Chill Wave? Have you had this?
That was very good.
I just had that last night, and I was blown away.
Yeah,
That was
it was really, really
fantastic double IPA. So good job, Great Lakes. So
So how many? I can't really think of too many breweries that are choosing, you know, their house strain as an English
Right.
ale strain.
you
that
know,
very common?
yeah, it is quite common. You know, Stone, they're at Stone and I believe Firestone Walker, they all have their own. And I believe Three Floyds is an English strain. I've heard, and it's something that's adapted to their brewery.
Sure.
So you know, they probably keep it, have it in the lab and propagate it out when they need to. So, but yeah, so I'm using West Yorkshire is what Y yeast calls it, and it's a yeast that's from Timothy Taylor I believe is supposedly the source. I guess I can't really say that, but it's a award-winning brewery in England, and I really like that yeast. I really like the profile. The nice thing about English ale yeast, you can vary the temperature depending on the beer you're making. If you want more of an English flavor with a little more fruitiness, a little estery, you can push it up maybe 68 degrees or maybe 70 if you want.
Okay.
That's going to depend on trial and error. But if you want less fruitiness, you can get a really nice, a drier flavor like you get with a California ale yeast. go down maybe 64. I'm actually doing those trials right
So pretty
now.
versatile.
Very versatile.
Neat.
It ferments quickly, flocculates really nicely, so it clears. I'm not like most craft breweries. I'm not going to be doing any filtration to begin with. Down the road, I would like to, but not immediately. So it fits a lot of
Are you strapped
things.
for cash?
Yeah. Rule number one: opening a brewery. Everything's takes 3 times longer and costs twice as much. So, I literally was talking to someone today about some malt handling stuff, and he said, "Yeah, that's only an extra $1,500." I'm like, "That's nothing." And this $1,500 is nothing. It really isn't. So, yeah. So. That's what I'm going to start with, and then we'll just see down the road. I've got a lot of ideas, stuff I want to do. Mainly, the biggest thing on my radar is just making sure we have cash flow for the first year. I've definitely put on a business hat during all of this, which
Right.
you have to do. I mean, it's nice to sit there and think about the beer and the recipes and the artistry behind it. But at the end of the day, if you can't run the business, you're not going to be in business, even in this climate. So I've unfortunately had to spend an awful lot of time. 'Cause it's just me. I don't have a partner. It's just me. And so I'm doing everything right now. That will not last very long. I will have other people here helping me. I can assure you of that. But yeah.
So, email your resumes at gulster@gmail.com.
Yes, golf. No, that's not it. I will say I will be at some point. I will be hiring like a brewing intern. I will probably focus on someone who's actually been to brewing school, since everyone's shelled out the money for that degree. You might as well have someone hire you to use it. So, but that's down the road. Probably not too long after I open up. So, but yeah, it's been a long road. We're at the very end game, but I'll be excited to get it done. So.
Well, yeah, you have a lot of space here to do a lot of different stuff, whether if it's
Yeah, well,
canning,
I'm
bottling line,
canning,
a
a
tap
brothel.
room,
I can have
brothel,
open a
yeah.
brothel, a little
skate park.
Skate park. Well, all right. I'd rather have a brothel, but whatever, Brad. Whatever you want. Like, it's all about you. So, yeah, we've got a lot of space. I got a really good price on this space, and I live in Lincoln Square, so this is fairly close to. I know you guys live in Logan Square, your little wiry mustache things, but us old people in Lincoln Square, I want some place fairly close to get to. So this works really nicely, and there's no breweries up here at all. I think
People live up here?
I don't know, actually. I'm not sure. There might be some farmland across the street. I'm not really sure. But yeah,
You're malting your own grain.
I'm going to be malting my own grain, which is adding costs. But by God, I'm a control freak, and that's how I have to do it. So yeah, we're we got a lot of space, although it fills up quickly, and hopefully this will fill up quickly. But I'm very excited to get going. I don't know. At some point, when I launch, I'm not going to have a tap room. I'm not going to have a retail store just for pure money purposes. But we'll see. I want to get one of those going as soon as possible. So the community here, I'm getting lots of messages from people who are very excited about this being here. So,
good.
But as a production brewery, there's not a lot of interaction until I have some place for them to actually come in and buy a beer. So that's going to be down the road, but hopefully not too far down the road.
I mean, we've been looking at breweries like Penrose and Beguile that are kind of doing the same thing.
Yeah,
where
fuck those guys.
Yeah, fuck those guys for real.
Just kidding. I know you guys. Kevin, Eric, Tom.
But they're in kind of neighborhoody type of areas, and you never really know how you're going to get welcomed or not welcomed in.
Yeah.
And so far, it seems like everyone's been, hey.
It's crazy.
Beer, I like it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was there's a Starbucks right over here, and I was over there just grabbing a coffee, and I told the guys, I'm like, hey, I'm opening a brewery, and they're just thrilled to death about it. So I'm like, sweet.
Yeah,
So
that's good.
and everyone's excited. I mean, that's part of anyone who gets in this business for money is fucking insane, right? I mean, someday down the road you can do okay, but if you're in it because you want a quick buck, like a lot of people did in the '90s, oh man, you're in the wrong business, because it's very capital intensive. Any growth requires lots of capital, and you're making something. If you're manufacturing something, it's harder to do. I do web development. You know, it's easier just to open up a a little web consulting firm.
Sure.
Although I'd rather kill myself than do that, but so it's a long road, and it's very hard to do. But part of it is people are so excited about craft beer, not just craft beer, but anything. The craft distilleries and food and slow food and all these things. So it's really fun, and the people are fantastic. If it wasn't for that and the collaboration with other breweries and everyone helping, it just it would be, I don't know if I'd be able to do it, but it's just great.
Who's number one on your list? Who do you want to make a beer with?
Oh God, I don't know. New Glarus or Goose Island.
Oh, I thought it was just me.
Just Ken. Just Ken.
Specifically with Ken. Yes.
He's got this really good whiskey beer.
Yes. Let me tell you, if you want a whiskey infused beer, this is the man. You open up keg, pour in whiskey. I've seen it with my own eyes.
It's a technique that I developed over a few years.
Over many of drinks.
Probably as long as you've been developing this brewery, I was, honing in my whiskey beer skills.
Yeah. So no, I'm not gonna brew with you. So yeah, I don't know. A lot of people do collaborations. I'm a control freak, so I'm probably not going to. Not that anyone's gonna be knocking on the door for collaborations, but I probably won't be doing any for a while just because I want to get my own process down, and I want to feel confident in my brewing abilities and my abilities to run this business and get to know the yeast I'm using, and then I'll be, I would love to do that with some folks, but
you can always just do it at their brewery and fuck up their beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I might. God would be great for that. I'd fuck those guys up. That Kevin, Jesus,
Squirrely motherfucker.
I had to turn off your hopcast with him. I just couldn't stand it with its hair. Well, So, love you, Kevin.
We rubbed it together that day. It was kind of fun.
But that's the other thing. These guys are all great. All these guys are fantastic. So, it's just fun to work with them, and these guys are fantastic. So, the Goose Island guys they're not so nice. They're kind of Ian Hughes. You know that guy?
I know that guy.
Jesus, that guy. So no, but anyway, just kidding, Ian. I like you. So
Well, before we upset anyone else, we should probably wrap this up.
But we're excited for you, buddy.
Thank you.
It's been a long road, and we're looking forward to tasting some of your beers.
I would love to, and I would love for you guys to come back as we get farther along. So this is kind of I wanted to, get heat. I wanted you guys here now so you can kind of see what's what we have, what we're starting with, and then go from there and see how it progresses. So we're kind of in the eye of the hurricane right now. Sure. So we're about to get to the other side, and then things are going to go crazy. So
well, it's a good time.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah,
Look
be on the
forward to
lookout.
it. Panic Brewing.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.
Cheers.
Cheers.